1 year out.
Oh my goodness. Yes. So exciting.
It is, I know, Jinx.
It is.
It has been exciting. It has been a little bit of
Oops.
crying, a little bit of
Oh, a little bit of laughter, a little bit of tears.
a little
It's
bit
been
of
a great
everything.
year. It's been an awesome year.
It has been a very full year, full of learning experiences and community and loving one another and just a lot of good things. Yes, a lot of growth. Yes, a lot of growth. Yes, we are definitely not the same people that we were last week.
Thank God.
I know, right?
Because we should always be growing. You should not be the same person you were a year ago or 5 years ago. Yes.
You should never be the person that you were yesterday. Today should be a better day for
That's
you.
good.
Yes,
That's good.
mentality. Renew your mentality. That's what we're working on.
As we talk about what happened last night over coffee.
Clink. So to close the year, we were talking about, actually the topic was a moment to share and to be thankful. And it's just that we didn't even finish the topic as usual.
Of course not.
I guess next time it's like, okay, let's just start talking about this so we can finish it in 6 months. So in January we're gonna start talking about boundaries. To finish next December.
Exactly.
With boundaries.
Exactly. That could be the theme for the whole year. We struggle with boundaries a lot.
Oh yes.
Especially women, I think.
Yes, big time. We
gotta
boundaries is something that we don't know how to do it.
Exactly.
We don't know how it works. We don't know how it feels. We don't know we don't know nothing about boundaries. And the problem is that we have the pride. It's like, oh yeah, I know how to tell people no. Oh yeah. I know how to do this. Nobody's gonna teach me how. Like that's what we encounter at the beginning of the year.
Right.
I remember it's like, but I already know how to do this. 12 months later, here we are trying to figure it out. What are your gifts? Because that's the beginning. That's how we started the class, right? The first question that we started with was, what is being thankful for you? How does it feel? And then
that was a good question.
All of us is starting working on what comes to your mind, and we created a list of words to based on our own understanding of what being thankful really is, because we think it's some people's perception was totally different.
Very different. Yes.
Like it's so mechanical, like saying thank you. But don't really know how that feels.
That's interesting. It kind of reminds me of, I was watching a movie on Netflix. I forgot the name of it, but this lady had these 2 children, and they were young, and they said, "Mommy, what does love feel like?" And so she pulled them in close and hugged both of them, and they're just smiling. They're like, "It feels warm.
Aww.
It feels comfortable." Yeah, so it's like it was just great. It was a great demonstration. That I was thinking about that as you were asking that question on Monday.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's like it's a feeling. But yeah, some people don't. It's just an automatic, like, we're taught knee jerk thankful. Be thankful. Thank you. Say thank you. We're taught that as little children. Please and thank you. But we don't really stop to think, what does that mean? What does it feel like?
Where did you feel it? Yes. How does it feel for you to be thankful? Because we go to Thanksgiving now, and it's like, oh yeah, but most of the people just get together to eat.
True that.
Just to get together and food. It's like, I ask people sometimes, it's like, so how do you go in Thanksgiving? Oh, I ate a lot. Oh, there was a lot of food. Or it's like everything is about food.
Exactly.
But not really, people don't really talk about the things that we are thankful about. And that was a class about, because we really need to do the introspection, and that comes with really understanding who we are and the things that we do and the things that who we are, the identity that we have, and be thankful for that. Because we can be thankful and grateful and still live in the same house and still with the same people and like still with the same problems.
Right.
But feel good about it. So being thankful is a sense of, I don't need anything else. Or I don't want anything else in this moment.
Completion.
I have everything.
I think that was one of the words that somebody came up with.
You have
completion and fulfillment. I can write them all down, but these were some of the words that the ladies came up with. Completion and fulfillment, which kind of lines up with what you were saying. Satisfied, joy, peace, feeling whole, unexpected, exhilarating, rewarding. Peace. I wrote that twice, so that must have been said twice. But yeah, but those are all some very interesting words. Exciting, excitement. Yeah.
But that took a lot from them.
It took a lot, yes.
to come out with us with those words to be able to figure it out, because we're just always in the surface. We're just riding the surface. And the class that was the purpose of it. Okay, let's dig a little deep. Let's really go into it and find out what really being thankful is, how it feels like for you or for you or for me. And then from there start breaking down the rest of the stuff and come to the identity level. So being thankful for me is the sense that everything I have, I don't have to have it.
Right.
It's just it's given to me. And everything is there. I could be back in Mexico, I can be in any places. And we were talking about earlier, there's people that were here and they're not. And it's, we don't have to have all the things. We have the privilege to travel, and we see how other countries are,
right?
And all the things that we have in here, the commodities and the feeling safe and warm. Right now it's cold outside, and I'm warm right here, and I feel good. Yes. Drinking coffee, making a video.
Exactly.
Not everybody has that, and that's something to be thankful about.
It really is. I was sharing, my husband and I, we just got back from Zanzibar. It's in Africa, in case you don't know. It's an island off the coast of Tanzania. Look it up. But there's two extremes. There's the wealthy, the old resort life, and then there's poverty. Like extreme poverty. Like, we don't know what it's like. Like, the people that live on the streets here are better off than people that are living, just their day to day. Everybody is on the streets. You have houses with no floors, no windows, no roofs. And that's how they live, in a place that rains like every day. And people are working. They are selling whatever they have on their land. There's fruit or whatever. You see fruit stands and whatever they can make, whatever. But they have to work hard just to get a little bit. And we are so blessed. I mean, our homeless people probably get more money than a lot of these people that work every day, every single day. But you know what? Even though life is hard for them, you see joy in them. Like, I watched the kids. We drove past a bunch of schools. All the kids are dressed in uniform. Even with the extreme poverty, they're all dressed in uniforms, and they're smiling and they're happy, and they don't know that they're poor because they have nothing to reference it with. And you can see the joy. They are thankful, just in communicating and talking with the people. And then we come back here and we take for granted things like bottled water.
Yeah.
Or running water.
Yes.
That's hot.
Clean water.
Clean water that you can drink, know. I mean, we have so much to be thankful for, and we take it for granted.
Yes, it is true. And like you were saying, they don't have a point of reference, to compare, and a lot of us neither. A lot of the people that are living here because they don't travel, and they don't come out of their houses and their own little world. They don't understand different perspectives, and if that's you, I invite you to go and look, because the same as them, they don't have a point of comparison. They think they live well, and they're happy. They're joyful. They have that joy because they don't have, I live good. Or, I mean, if they're within their struggle, they have the best they can, because they don't have a point of comparison. And you, that you're in your home and you never travel and you haven't seen this, you also don't have a point of comparison. And you take that for granted. And it's like, okay, but this is how I live, but I want more. Gimme.
We're never satisfied.
Yes. So this is an opportunity for us to stop taking things for granted, and whatever you have, if it's money problems, be thankful that you had the money, or that you got the credit, because it's like
right.
Like, I got to see, this is what it is. I have a lot of debt in my credit card. But you spent it. It's like you didn't show up.
Yeah, you enjoyed that steak that you couldn't afford, or that vacation you couldn't afford, or whatever. You still enjoyed it. That trip to Disneyland that you knew you couldn't afford.
Yeah. So you enjoyed that. And you didn't have to have it. But because you had that benefit of the credit, you took it. But so it's not fair to say, well, I have a lot of credit, I cannot do this because I have a lot of debt. But you enjoy that debt. So don't take that for granted. Enjoy, even be thankful for having, yes, you have debt, be thankful for that because you enjoy that. So don't regret something. And if you're going to regret it, then don't do it. Make better decisions for your life. So you can be grateful for what you have, thankful for all the things that you have.
Right.
So debt or not debt, alone or not alone, or whether you have the things that you want to have or not, we all have an opportunity every single day to be thankful about the lives that we have.
Right.
Because we don't have to have it.
That's true.
And even if you live in a house where I understand it's hard, where if you live in a house that you can barely pay and all of that stuff, there's people around you. There's always someone willing to help you, or you're breathing, or you can go and serve in church. There's always someone willing to help. You just have to go put yourself out there and just ask for help. Be honest about your situation and be thankful for that, because having those situations, those hardships, help us grow, help us mature, help us be responsible. And those are things to be thankful about too.
It reminds me of, I had a very short scripture, no novella this time, but on being thankful. And it reminded me, I actually took it from your video that you put on Thanksgiving, your daily encouragement. And you were basically saying, be thankful for everything. If you have your health, if you don't have your health, if you got money, you don't have money, you got a great relationship or your marriage sucks, be grateful, because in that something, you're being taught something, like the word says, all things work together for good. He doesn't say all things are good, but all things work together for good. So even in your down times or your valleys, there's something there for you to learn. So the scripture passage that I took was from 1 Thessalonians 5, I started it earlier, but I'm going to really just focus on the part about being thankful. It's 1 Thessalonians 5, verses 16 through 18, and it says, rejoice. This is in the Amplified Version, in case you're wondering, why is she adding all those words? Rejoice always and delight in your faith. Be unceasing and persistent in prayer. In every situation, no matter what the circumstances, be thankful. That reminded me of what you were saying. No matter what the circumstances, be thankful and continually give thanks to God, for this is the will of God for you in Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So he's saying, whatever your situation is, like you said, if it's a money problem or you got $20,000 in debt, be thankful for that, because it gives you an opportunity to grow up financially, get the debt paid off, and then the lesson is, don't do that no more.
The hardships are opportunities.
Exactly.
So be thankful for those opportunities instead of the devil is alive. I hear that too often.
Right. It's like, the devil didn't get you in all that debt.
Yes. So it's time for us to take responsibility and for us to say, you know what?
That's it.
My life is not great, and I'm struggling with this, and these things that you're struggling with are opportunities and doors for you to open and grow.
Right.
But no, we get so caught up in always bad things happen to me, and the negativity. So if you tweak it a little bit and you start seeing it from the positive lens, you will give yourself permission to be thankful even for the problems and the circumstances that you're going through.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's so important.
So another one of the questions, actually the only question that we work on.
We only got to one. See, we had a whole page, but we only got to one.
We ask, what is something that you have and no one else has? I think that was everybody was looking at me like if I was speaking Chinese, and it was like, well, no, this is the first answer. Everybody looks like, no, I don't have nothing else that everybody like we dismiss ourselves so we're so mean to ourselves.
Critical.
We're just so critical. Yeah, we're just so mean, and it's kind of like, no, we all have something that someone else appreciates. And if other people can see it, why we cannot see it? Sometimes it's just baffling to me, because we ask that question. It's like, what is something that you have and no one else has? Well, nothing. Nothing. I cannot think of anything. But that's the thing. The question is meant for you to think about it.
Right.
That's the work.
Right.
When we say do the work, it's not sit down and it's just start writing to the air. Like, it just doesn't work like that. It's really sit down and think about stuff and really process your emotions and process what you're going through. Not just speak nonsense. Not just say whatever you think. That's it. We say what we think the other person wants to hear.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. We program ourselves. We programmed ourselves because we want to belong. So we just speak and we catching other people's reactions because we want to say the right thing.
Right.
And I want to say what I think you want to hear.
Right.
That's a big mistake because that's not authenticity. That's not being honest. That's a mask.
Right.
But when you really do the work and say, okay, who am I? What do I have? What superpower? What gift do I have that people has told me that I'm good at? Something that people has told you that you're good at. I told Julie a couple of classes before, I said, you're very patient. And you were like, yeah, I don't know about all that. But because
that's what you see in me, you know.
Yes, and because that's something that you work hard on.
Right, I have worked on it. Yes, I have worked on a lot. I've worked on it. Okay, see, you can do two things. You can work on it because God's telling you to work on it, or he can force you in a situation where you don't have no choice. And I kind of got forced into it because he's like, you're going to learn patience if it kills me, you know, and it almost killed me. But, being with the man that I'm married to, who is polar opposite of me, I talk and move very fast, and he moves at the snail's pace. And then taking care of my mom for 10 years, between that decade of the 90s, nothing moves fast. So I kind of got forced into a situation where I had to, and it's not so much about the action, it's about what's going on in here.
Right.
It's the attitude. My husband always said, it's the attitude in the wait. It's not about waiting that makes you patient. It's your attitude in the wait. So I have improved my attitude in the wait, which does make me patient.
Sometimes we allow one circumstance or one thing that happened to tell us who we are.
Right.
So if I lost my temper with my kids once, or something went, south once, because I focus on that negative thing and I hang it on me like a label.
Right.
And that's all that it's like everything else. I forget about everything else. And that's the only thing that I can remember, the negative thing. So if I ask you, what is something good that you have? The only thing that you can think of, because it's fresh in your mind, because you always think about it, is that negative thing.
Right.
And we allowed that negative thing to tell us who we are.
Yes. And so interesting. I'm reading a book called Don't Take It Personally. It's written by a PhD, and she was sharing a story about one of her clients who had a dad. When he was young, he had a dad that was real hard to please, and so he had gotten a 92% on his test, and he was so excited to run home and tell his dad. And then so he's like, Dad, I got a 92%, and the dad's attitude was, well, what about that 8%?
Yeah.
And he said that just killed him. It just destroyed him from that point on. And so now he lived, through his adult life with this I got to be perfect mentality. And so, one word or one situation, like you said, can just completely change how we see ourselves.
Yeah, because one of the ladies said, I cannot think of anything.
Right.
Because all I can think of was that time that I made a mistake. And I was like, but we shouldn't do that. And it's what you're just saying. Remember I told you I went to take the test for...
right. Yeah.
So I took the test, and when the woman came in to give me the results, she said, this is similar to what you just said. She said it was 50 questions. And she said, wow, you did pretty good. I guess she thought I was looking for a job.
Right.
Because she said, you did pretty good. Are you sure you want a job here? And then she's like, you just got 5 wrong. Like fat and out of the 50. And I was like, 5? I was like, what? And she was like, wow. And I was like, what? See, we allowed the negative part to take over.
Yes.
And then we totally get distracted with that thing, and we lose track of the positive thing.
Right.
And that's what we do with our persona. That's what we do with ourselves. We just forget the positive things that we're capable to do and the gifts that we have. We don't even pay attention to that because we focus on the negative
thing. That is very, very true.
It was so hard for people to figure it out. We start telling, you're good at this, you're good at that.
I know.
For them to start figuring
like
it
the
out.
one lady, who was a teacher with little kids, 5-year-olds for 40 years. I'm like, oh my goodness. That's a gift.
Yeah.
That is a gift that most people do not have.
No. Not me.
Especially over the time span, because I would imagine teaching 40 years ago was very different than teaching today. You know, kids are off the chain today, you know, especially after COVID. I mean, it's just, woo, that's a lot. That's a gifting. And then one lady said that she has a gifting with special needs children.
Yes.
Like they just find her, they gravitate to her. That's a gift that God has given you that no one else has.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
But we don't look at that stuff, because like if you ask me, like, Lily, you want to be a teacher? Hell no. I have kids,
right? That's why they have teachers, to get them away from the parents.
Yes, and that's what it is. If you have your gift, instead of fighting it, or instead of like, well, that's what I do, just appreciate, because not everybody wants to do that very thing that you do, like a cook.
Right.
I could never like raise a cook, and now like, I know
that's a gift. That is a true gift.
Yes.
Like your son has a gift.
Oh, yes.
Yes. I know. He's only like 8, right?
Yes. And he made the turkey.
That's awesome.
He always wanted.
That is a true gift.
Yes.
My mom had a gift of cooking. She didn't pass that on to me. I mean, she could take like, you know, like corned beef and whatever and eggs and make an entire meal. You know, I mean, it's like, I need a recipe, and you put what in next? That's a gift. I've never learned how to do that.
Yes, or if there's people that are great organizers. Exactly. Like you can, like, Yuli. So what happened in April 1986?
Hold on, let me get my notes. I kid you not. I took notes every year at my old church for 10 years. I could tell when he repeated a sermon. I could go back and find it. I'm like, oh, you talked about that in like 2012.
Okay, you're copying.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So that's a gift. That's something that it just doesn't go with me. But we, instead of saying accepting who you are, is I want to be like her.
Yeah,
I want to be like her.
That came out too. And I've had more people say, you probably get that a lot too, like, I want to be more like you. But, you know, I mean, there's something that God has put in us that draws people, and that may or may not be your gift.
Yeah.
But don't ever look at somebody and say, I wish I could be more like them, because she's already taken. You know, you got to find out what God has for you.
Yeah. Because when you tap into that, then people will say, oh, I want to be like you. Because you just letting yourself be who you really need to be and want to be, and who God created to be.
Right.
But when you're just not, when you're depriving yourself and putting masks and lying about stuff and not honest about it.
Exactly.
People see that too.
And people can feel that. And then you wonder why you don't have authenticity in your friendships.
Yeah.
Because you're not being authentic. Yeah. Yeah, but like I said, some of the things that did come out, like one lady said, what did she say? She was like a cat whisperer or something, or an animal whisperer.
Animal whisperer.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that's so cool. But you know, animals can sense it, because when we were in Zanzibar, there was this cat. He really owned the hotel, right? He'd lay up, and I mean, he just like, you know, go around. But he knew that my husband was more receptive to him than I was, because I never really had a thing for cats. No offense, cat lovers, but so we're at dinner sitting, and he's walking. He walked right past me over to Mark's table and sat right next to him. And guess what Mark did? He started feeding him. See, he knew I wasn't going to feed him. And because the big old sign says, don't feed the cat. But, you know, he says, I know who the person is that's going to feed me. And Mark did. And then they were having their own little conversation. But yeah, so Mark does have that kind of thing that animals are drawn to him too. So, yeah.
I hate cats. I just can't stand them. And I think they sense that too, because the cats come and rub against me. Like, oh,
you're gonna like me.
Yes. It's like, but they always rub. Like, I remember going with clients, and the cats, like, I will see them coming, and it's just like,
they're like, let's go bug her.
Because I get allergies. I get like, bumpy and all of that stuff. So they will come and like rub. I don't like animals' hair in my clothes. I feel like I'm eating it. And it's like, oh, it's in my clothes. It's in my brain right now. So, but they always come and rub against me. Like, they rub and rub and rub.
Oh, they really know you don't like them.
Yes. Yeah. So, that's a gift. Those things, whatever it is, there's people that, Julie's great at writing too. You're like great writer.
Thank you.
And not everybody has that.
And you know what's so interesting about it? I do realize I write well, but I just feel like, doesn't everybody? You know, I mean, that's how I look at it. I just feel like, well, doesn't everybody? I'm just writing English, but
No.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I realize it's not something
No.
that everybody has.
No, it's
Yeah.
not that common.
Yeah.
Yes, it's like you're right, and then it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I write, and it's like, yeah, I don't know. Someone else needs to read this because I don't know what's happening right now.
That's why authors have print readers or whatever.
That's why there's so
Yeah.
many professions. That's why we're supposed to be in community.
Exactly.
Because my gifts and then her gifts and
Mhm.
everybody's gifts, that's how community is built. It's
Right.
not, imagine everybody, well, we might as well have robots, right? So everybody does everything the same way.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
that's why there's artists. And everybody, when you see
Mhm.
artists, you see that they all have their own, yeah, they probably,
Mhm.
you put 3 people
Mhm.
and they, okay, 3 different artists. Okay, everybody draw a guitar.
Mm-hmm.
They're all gonna draw a guitar, but
Right.
just based on their perception, based on who
Exactly.
they are, they're gonna draw a different, with
Mhm.
different colors, with different abstracts, or
Right.
different stuff. And that's part of our gifts.
Exactly. Yes. And that reminds me of the sip and paint. You know, when we all go and we all paint
Yes.
the same picture, but each picture has its own personality. It
Yes.
might be the same object, but it all has, and yeah, you can see the personality. I mean, and that's what makes us unique. And you're right, community. I mean, gifting, like, you know, professions, like you said, artists, doctors, lawyers, you know, even like funeral directors. That's a calling.
Yes.
I mean, they make a lot of money, but you cannot do that business just for the money. You know, you have to really have a heart for people and
Yes.
care, and that's something I can do.
And that makes
But
us
other people
dynamic.
are very gifted at it. Yes.
Yeah, but that makes us
Mhm.
dynamic. That gives us diversity.
Mhm.
Because, like, for example, I'm a coach, right? But not everybody resonates with me.
Right.
Not everybody has to like me, and I don't have to like everybody. And that's great because that gives
Mhm.
the opportunity for other coaches.
Exactly.
So someone can resonate with them and they can
That's it.
help the people that
That's
needs
it.
to get help. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter if you need help, it should be someone there that you can
Mhm.
resonate and can
Mhm.
help you. And that's what,
Right.
even if it's in coaching, we have different gifts within coaching. There's people
Absolutely.
that can coach you on, I don't know, how to downsizing.
Mhm.
Total different. Entrepreneurial.
Right.
Finances.
Yes.
So it's just using your gifts. Like Julie is so good at finances because she's organization,
Mhm.
patience,
Mhm.
all of that stuff
A
that she
mind for
works.
numbers.
So all of those gifts that she has, she focused them towards something, and that's
Right.
that's part of that. It's like, oh, but there's a lot of coaches.
Mhm.
Yeah, but not everybody's the same. Everybody
That's
has
it.
different
Everybody's
gifts.
got different. That's like there's a lot of churches. Well, we don't all go to the same church.
Exactly.
Because each church has its own personality.
There you go.
Mhm.
So, and it will be unfair to say, well, why would I be a church if
Mhm.
there's already a church in here?
Right. Yeah.
It's like there's 8
Mhm.
billion people in the world.
Exactly.
We need to be dynamic, and we need to learn to embrace who we are,
Mhm.
love it, and
be
accept
thankful
it.
for it. See, that's the thing, and I think that's the most important thing. What you were trying to drive across is like we have to be thankful for these gifts that God has given us. But we're so busy focused on our shortcomings and what we can't do, or what we didn't do, or what we should have done 40 years ago, that we can't embrace what He has for us now.
Yeah.
And be grateful, be thankful for it.
Yes.
Mhm.
So this is a call of action.
Mhm.
Ask yourself, what are my gifts that I have? They're unique. They show up unique on me,
Mhm.
and that people has told me before that I'm good at this or I'm good at that. What are my gifts? Write them down,
Mhm.
and just that's the work. Understand them and embrace them and be thankful for them,
Mhm.
because those gifts that you have, I don't have them. She doesn't have them.
Right.
And if we do have them some way similar, it's not
It's still
the
not
same.
the same gift.
Because
That's
they
true.
come with your experiences, they come with your hurts, your past,
Mhm.
your traumas, your empowerment, your family, your cultural background, all of that, your perspective, all of that stuff forms part of your gifts.
Absolutely.
So
Mhm.
you cannot, even people growing up in the same household,
Mhm.
have, you said it,
Completely different gifts. Yes.
different gifts and
Mhm.
different parents.
Personalities. Yes, absolutely. Mhm.
So it's important that we do the work and say, who am I really and what are my gifts?
Mhm.
And then take it from there and be thankful for those gifts.
Absolutely.
One of the biggest things.
Mhm.
And the other question that we ask is, what is something that you feel bad or sad about not having? What is something missing in your life?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
in that is also to be thankful for it, because now you see what the opportunity is for you to
Right.
go and look for it.
Right. Yeah, because it doesn't mean that it was too late. You know, like one lady said she regretted not having children. Well, you know what? There's foster kids. There's all kind of kids. In fact, one of the sisters, Rochelle, she and her husband have a foster child, little baby, you know. And so there's lots of people out there that need love.
Yes.
Little people out there that have no family, have no parents, and been abandoned or for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Thank God they're still alive, and there's lots of people that need love.
Yes.
So it's not too late. As long as you got breath and you can still manage.
Yeah.
You can still have that dream fulfilled.
Yes. Or if you said, well, I never finished school, or I wanted to start a new career, or I want to save money, or I want to travel.
Right.
If those are the things that you're missing, guess what? You still have time. You can
You
work
have
on it.
time.
And
You
be
have
thankful
time.
that you come into that realization. It's like, oh, you know what? I really wanted to have kids. I cannot have any more.
Right.
But guess what? Where there's a will, there's a way.
That's it.
And if you really want to have a kid, there's a lot of kids that need a parent, that need help. So there's an opportunity out there. Or if you want to go study something new, guess what?
Right.
There's always out
Exactly.
there for you. But those are the opportunities. Look at your opportunities, and if you really want, if you really, really, really want it, you can make it happen.
It's so interesting. I was just looking at the life of President Carter. He just lost his wife, Rosalind. They were married 77 years. That's longer than most people have been alive, right? Yeah. And he's 99, I believe. And he's still, I really thought he was going to go first, but he's 99. I think his wife was 96. She went first. But it's like, I look at their legacy. I mean, obviously they were very young when they got married. Who knew that he was going to be president of the United States one day? I don't know if that was a goal. But then beyond his presidency, he had such an impact on the world, with that Habitat for Humanity. And I just believe that is part of the reason that they lived so long. It's like his legacy didn't stop with being the president. Say what you want about whether you liked his presidency or not, but look how much longer he and his wife lived serving in their capacity, in their gifting, and in their calling. So it's never too late. People are living well into their 90s with no problem. Like Henry Kissinger just passed away at 100, and he was still very sharp. I was watching an interview from about 5 years ago, still very sharp at 90 something, So there's a lot of time. People have a lot of time. Don't think your career has ended and you're at a certain point in your life that God has no more use for you.
Yeah. It's kind of like if you go back in your life and then I'm pretty sure in a you can say, oh, and I remember when I did this and when I did this and you can recollect a lot of the things that you have done or you have worked on and the places you have been, and he was like, wow, where that happened? When did that happen? Like that happened in, a lot of things can happen in 2, 3, 5 years.
Absolutely.
So don't waste your time looking at the past and the things that you didn't do.
About what you didn't do. Yes.
If you really want to do something, look at your gifts. Work on those gifts. Don't focus on the negative part. Focus on the gifts that you have. And if something is missing, work on that. And make the next 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 years different than the past 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, 20 years.
It's so interesting. As you were talking, I was thinking about when God called Moses to go back and bring his people out of Egypt. He did the same thing that we did. Oh, but God, I don't talk well. I stutter and I don't think I could have the words. Right away, his default was, let me focus on my deficiencies and what I can't do. And God's like, look, I got that taken care of too. Don't worry about that. So we have to just start looking at what we do have to offer, not being Moses and looking at what I don't have at our deficiencies. And just go for it. Because it's never too late. It's never too late.
No, embrace it, love it, be thankful for those things, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
That's it.
Because they make you who you are, but really who you really are.
Absolutely.
And they can take you to the next part of your life, the best life.
The best part of your life. Yeah. That's great. I know.
We're going to continue talking about this. This is
a
never-ending topic.
This is going to be exciting.
Yes.
So we want to invite all you all out there in TV land to come to our party. We're going to have an in-person live party on the 18th, right?
Yes.
It's going to be
the 18th. It's not there, but it will be there.
Oh, there you go.
December 18th, Monday, 7 p.m. The same place, same channel, or the same. We're gonna do a potluck party, gift exchange. And it's for everybody that wants to really know who we are and wants to be in community and really start doing the work, because this is not over. This is just we're just closing the year because we need to take a break too.
Yes.
But the next year we're coming back, and this is just a time for us to continue being thankful and grateful in community.
We're gonna have some people share their gifts too.
Yes. Everybody, the rest of the stuff that we didn't finish, we will finish there.
We'll finish.
Yes.
I might even share a gift that no one knows I have.
Oh.
You know I have. You just never heard it. So I thought about that too. So if you want to know what my gift is, you have to come to the party.
And I'm going to ask her as soon as I can go. All right, so see you guys later. Thank you very much. It was a great year.
Real. Yay!
Yes, love and appreciation, and we're going to continue pushing through.
Do the work. Peace out.
Go.